We are at Uwharrie National Forest in North Carolina, and we are at the Wolf Den area. This is our Jeep Gladiator, and we feature it on our channel, and we do camping and off-road videos. If you haven't had a chance, please subscribe. We are trying to get over 1,000 subs, so if you haven't done that yet, that would be awesome. So anyway, we are here, and we are doing Dutch John. Dutch John is one of the easier trails at Uwharrie. A lot of the trails are very similar to this trail that we're on now. So this will give you a good flavor of the trails at Uwharrie. They are mild trails. If you're used to the East Coast kind of coloring system, they would be green trails, meaning that the obstacles on this trail are mostly softball sized. There's occasionally a basketball size obstacle, but most of the basketball size obstacles you can just drive around. We are here alone. That is one of the rules that we typically try not to break, but this is the first day going out in the Jeep here, and we've done this trail the last couple years in a row. We saw some people in the parking lot that we knew that would be behind us anyway. They were strangers, so even if we did have a problem, we knew that there'd be somebody right behind us. But it's usually not recommended to go out by yourself. And then the other thing is we knew that we were going to do a lot of photography, and most groups don't like you stopping to do photos like every 5 minutes. So this is Thanksgiving, and there are some of the basketball size obstacles that we were talking about, and everybody has a tendency of just trying to help each other out. So we were getting ready to go down this obstacle, and this is probably one of the most difficult obstacles on the Dutch John Trail. It's much more difficult to go up than down, and we saw some other vehicles coming up, and being a good Samaritan, I decided, hey, why don't I help them out and do a little spotting while I filmed it. So you can listen to me spot this obstacle, and then we'll continue with showing you around. How are you? Maybe back up a foot and then go passenger a little bit. Maybe back up a foot and then try to go passenger a little bit. Yeah, passenger's just about a hair passenger. No, the other direction. That passenger more, a little more passenger. Now go. Yep. So he went passenger a little bit to where the passenger wheel's on the right hand side of that rock in front of you. That's in front of your right headlight. So he just kind of went just to the right of that big rock was kind of right in front of him. You just go kind of straight, and then like you look pretty good. Yeah, right there, and then straight. Yeah, but maybe a little momentum. Like I don't mean like ton of gas, but just a little momentum. Yeah, that's almost the same line that he was on. So now we're going to go down that obstacle, and like I've pointed out in a lot of videos, going up obstacles usually is significantly harder than going down obstacles, and usually that's mainly because you have gravity on your side. So you can see the size of these obstacles, and some of them are obviously larger than softballs, but they're not particularly large. It just mainly they're slippery. You saw how much the wheel just kind of slid sideways there a little bit, and yeah, you go slow. And one of the tricks is if you have one of the higher trim levels on the Jeep or even the Yodas, usually they have a thing called hill assist. If you put it in a low gear, like first gear, second gear, obviously you're in 4 low, and you push hill assist, then you don't have to hit the brake at all. Like the Jeep will basically crawl itself down the hill, and all you have to do is really worry about steering. And usually the speed that you go down is sort of like pretty close to the gear. So like if you're in first gear, it goes 1 mile per hour. If you go second gear, it goes 2 miles per hour with the hill assist turned on, and without it, you'll usually go a little bit quicker. It just depends on the gearing and stuff, but that's what it is for us at least. So this obstacle here used to be even more gnarly than it is now. They've really kind of cleaned it up a lot. But this is probably the hardest obstacle, like I was saying, on this trail, on the Dutch John Trail. And once again, this is a green trail. This is not meant to be an impossible trail. But you did see that even the Yoda that was going up it with blockers and everything, he was slipping and sliding, and he just needed somebody on the outside to just kind of look and see where the wheels had to be. It wasn't that he couldn't get out and do it himself, but usually it's a good idea to have a buddy with you that can do that for you. The weather was really working with us. It was nice and sunny, and I want to say it was in the high 60s. It probably was close to taking the top off weather. Hey, so we are on the Dutch John Trail. This obstacle right here is probably the hardest obstacle on the trail, on Dutch John specifically. It is slippery, and going in this direction toward Wolf Pen, you're going uphill, and if you saw like the Toyotas, how they're sliding and stuff, that it is just slippery. That's really the thing. But this obstacle has been the hardest one. We've had to winch people before in the past on different days on this obstacle. I don't know if it's easier or harder than it was before, but I just wanted to kind of share it with you. Most of the obstacles here on this trail are relatively mild. This is an example of one of numerous obstacles you have that are just mild in contrast. We are about to do the cattle chute. The cattle chute is probably one of the more well-known obstacles in the park, one of the more well-known obstacles on this trail. And it looks kind of like it should be slippery, but for us it wasn't really all that slippery, and yeah, it is really this steep. It is a steep hill climb in one direction, and then you kind of descend a little bit. And what is so characteristic about this is the orange color of the gravel, and also the way the hill is kind of cut out. You're kind of going between these obstacles, and it'll be much more distinct shortly when we actually get into the cattle chute. What you're seeing here, the left side used to be kind of a soup bowl where we are now. That's been completely filled in, and the right side used to be the way that almost everybody went. And I had a video a long time ago where there was a CJ5 that kept breaking down, and this is where it was. It was this exact spot. So this is the actual cattle chute, and it has these kind of glorious looking sidewalls. It's still here, but it just seems like they've really made it a lot easier intentionally. And I'm sure that as it rains and everything throughout the year, it will probably start to get eroded away more. But this used to be a lot more nasty. And once again, this has to do with if you are going up or down this on difficulty. But we are going up it, you can tell, and we're not really having any problems. And you know, for those of you who do not know, we have a Rubicon Gladiator with the stock 33 tires. Yeah, it's a higher trim level, has lockers, all that kind of goodness. But we don't really have a whole lot that we've upgraded on this Jeep. I mean, we have like armor that we put on the bottom so we don't damage it. Some like radio equipment on the inside that like doesn't really make any difference, and some camera equipment. But overall, I mean, it's pretty close to the way that you get it when you get it from Jeep, and you can see how well it's doing out here on the trails. Now, obviously these are not like aggressive trails by any means, but they are fun because they seem like they're appropriate for this configuration with with the size of a wheel. Like I did mention, this is a more of a highlights reel. A lot of the trail content at Uwharrie looks more like this than what you've been seeing, you know, with the highlights of the obstacles. So you get a lot of this, a little bit of what you just saw. So you have to take it in strides. But each trail here has a little bit of a different character and a little different set of obstacles that you just have to make fun. And so here, what you can see is this is a mud hump, and there are lots and lots and lots of mud humps in this park. And unfortunately, if you are a gladiator, it is something that you have to kind of keep your eye out for. Probably for your Toyota Tacoma, you probably have to look out for them too. Anybody that's kind of short with a long wheelbase, especially. And there's another one you can see I'm turning in and out of them. So I'm going to give you a side view just so you can see these. They are like literally, it feels like every 30 seconds, like you have to go over one of these. And I just want you to be aware. So this is like it right there. It looks very mild and very much like it's nothing. And so generally what you want to do is you want to go over them slowly. So you approach them, and you don't go over them this slowly. And then I stopped just so you can visually see how big they are. And this is 33-inch tires with a 2-inch lift. And I'm sitting on the mud hump. So normally what I do is I turn the wheels when I go over them. So not all 4 wheels are going up and down at the same time. Instead, it's more like the odd wheels. So I'll do a little close-up of the mud hump so you can see it. And yeah, and I definitely hit. You can see right there. Like I said, we have steel armor, actually it's aluminum armor on the bottom of the Jeep that's really thick. It is very, very scenic here, and kind of like a cool place to go with the Jeeps. And I think it could accommodate a lot of even stock Jeeps probably. You just have to be careful. It might be challenging for, say, a sport Rubicon, but for like a 2-door and a 4-door Wrangler, probably like super easy. Most of the trails, there are some trails that are significantly more difficult than what you've been seeing, specifically the Dickie Bell Trail, which is a badge of honor, and another trail called Daniel. And those trails, especially Daniel, I would recommend for you to go there with somebody that really knows what they're doing, and it's fun.